We're just over a third of the way through the Premier League season, and it's been interesting. The top of the table is tightly contested, with Arsenal looking to win their first title since 2004. Everton's recent point deduction has created intrigue in the relegation battle, and Manchester United remain the biggest soap opera in England. And under the radar storyline is Brentford continuing their existence as a mid-table club. It's an impressive feat considering the uphill battle they've been fighting financially since their promotion to the Premier League. Previous research has indicated that a club's wage bill is a decent indicator of their finishing position in the table. An illustration of that can be seen from this chart by the brilliant Swiss Ramble, which shows wage spending from the 21-22 season. Finishing 13th with the league's lowest wage bill was quite remarkable from Brentford. A big reason for the club's success has been their ability to create chances from set pieces. According to Who Scored, they generated the third most shots from these situations 2 seasons ago, and ranked 7th last season. They've upped it even higher this season, but those chances haven't turned into goals like it has in the past. Despite the lack of goals, Brentford still might be the best club in the Big 5 European leagues during dead ball situations. The purpose of this video will be to try and analyze some of the things that make them still so prolific. So I actually want to start with throw-ins because I think this is where Brentford truly separate themselves compared to other clubs. When you think of long throw-ins, someone like Rory Delap likely comes to mind. He created havoc during these situations and was part of how Stoke maintained Premier League status for nearly a decade. For as far as we've come with valuing set pieces, there's an argument to be made that throw-ins are still an untapped resource in today's game. John Miller from The Athletic highlighted their value in an article last season, which I'll link in the description. The thing to take away is hurling it into the penalty box, and particularly around the 6-yard area, is more likely to end up in a goal than going short. Over the course of the season, it could lead to an extra goal or two, which could be massive in the table. Here's an example of how Brentford generally structure their throw-ins. You have the 3 players near the goalkeeper trying to obstruct his sight. Around the penalty spot, there's usually 1 or 2 players trying to make a quick dash forward to be the recipient of a second or third ball in tight. In this case, there's an extra element where Mbomo is going to make a looping run into the box as the extra man, and it leads to him generating 2 shots in a manner that many clubs wouldn't try to execute. To be clear, these aren't high quality chances, but it helps a club of Brentford's stature to further dictate play and control territory. Here's another example versus West Ham. You get a similar initial setup like with the first example. An important thing to note is the chain reaction once Ethan Pinnock wins the initial header. Christian Norgard occupies 2 with his run, and then Emerson has to defend Yohan Wissa. And this leaves Neil Maupay alone for a half-decent chance which gets blocked. When it comes to corner kick routines, Brentford have gained a reputation for being quite clever. Within the Premier League, Newcastle are arguably their closest competitor, in part due to the variety of tricks up their sleeves when utilizing short corners. A key thing for Brentford during corners has been the misdirection they can cause before the actual kick is launched. The vast majority of their players will be situated in one spot, so it makes it tough for the opposition to defend. This could be from different areas in the box, which adds to the difficulty of guarding them. Just before the corner is taken, the players will then spread out to create even greater confusion and possible openings. In reviewing some of the corners done by Brentford this season, they seem to have altered their approach a bit. At times, instead of beginning with everyone bunched up together and then dispersing, they're actually doing more the opposite. If we go back to the match against West Ham, we can see this in action. Before Matthias Jansen backs up to prepare to kick, this is the situation in the box. As you can see, there are no Brentford players near the 6-yard area. It's actually a visual that you don't often see from corner routines. Now, if we fast forward about 5 seconds later as Jensen's about to kick, things are much different. 4 Brentford players are in the 6-yard box, and West Ham are now having to track the runners on the fly, which is a very tough thing to do. A couple of things emerge. The first is that Norgard will pop up from the pack completely unmarked for the initial headed flick on. The second is Wissa will try to make a run to the back post for a potential tap-in, which doesn't get picked up by Emerson. On another day, this routine could have easily led to a goal. Here's another one versus Manchester United. Once again, the 6-yard area is filled with just the opposition, and only 2 Brentford players are anywhere near there. Fast forward about 10 seconds, and now we got a 2v6 in the box, although it's still less aggressive than the corner we saw versus West Ham. Things start to get interesting. Aaron Hickey will end up setting a pick on Bruno Fernandes to clear room for Norgard at the near post. We got a 3v2 up top with both Wissa and Nathan Collins trying to peel towards the far post to get to the second ball for a potential tap-in. but can't quite do so. To end this, we'll briefly touch on Brentford's free kicks. It's clear that they also put considerable time and thought into generating better quality shots during these scenarios. Whether it be long free kicks or ones in a final third, they've got tricks up their sleeves through intricate movements. When tuning into a Brentford match and a situation like this happens, there's a decent chance you'll see an attempt at a carefully crafted routine. And Boma will be standing over the ball, and after making a lateral pass, there will be a lob into the box by Jensen. There'll be a Brentford player making a run to receive in the wide zone, and if they don't break their stride, there's two options. The safe route, which is taking a halfway decent shot from a wide angle, or looking for a high quality opportunity with a pass towards the middle. This can lead to absolute chaos, like it did here. I found this one to be interesting. It's a wide free kick in the final third, and one would expect a whipped ball near the middle of the 6-yard area, or maybe a lob towards the far post. Instead, Mboma passes it to Vitaly Anelt and sprints to the layoff before curling a shot that goes wide. The end result was a low quality shot, with an expected goal value of probably 2 or 3%. One could make the argument that there was some meat left on the bone by not making an extra pass to Frank Onyeka, and instead settling for a tough shot. Onyeka would have a better angle to shoot himself, or perhaps make a killer pass into the box. Delivering an aerial pass during that free kick could have led to a more dangerous opportunity, but there's at least a decent chance you get nothing from the free kick, whereas you're probably more likely to get a shot off from this routine. There also could be variations of this which net a good quality shot, and it's another way to keep the opponent on their toes when defending set pieces near the box. It's been impressive to see Brentford continue to create opportunities from set pieces at the rate they have through 13 games, especially considering Ivan Toney has not played at all this season due to suspension. I think they'll start to accumulate a few more goals from these routines, and with their improvements in open play, a third straight mid-table finish is definitely in the cards for them. Thank you for watching. It genuinely means a lot that you would spend your time listening to myself ramble about set pieces. I'm hoping I can post videos on a regular basis and see where things go from there. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Everyone take care, and I'll see you when I see you.